I lived in Portland, Oregon for 8 years, and then Buffalo, New York for about a year before I came down here to Mexico City. And I came down to Mexico honestly because of the pandemic. I was just feeling like I didn't really like vibe with Buffalo. I wasn't there for very long before the pandemic started, and so it was obviously very hard to get to know people because we were all, inside. And so I had a friend who was living in Mexico, and I saw him the first Christmas of the pandemic, and he was just like, "What are you even doing here? Like, you're already working remotely. You might as well go do it somewhere else." And he had had such a great experience here that I decided to like look into it. I saw that it was really easy to get the 6-month tourist visa. I came down here in March 2021, thinking that I was going to be here for 6 months. My employer didn't know I was here, so that was like a whole thing too. But my employer at the time. But I came down for 6 months and then kept extending, and then eventually my team, where I was working, got laid off in January of 2022. And at that point, I had already signed a lease on an apartment. So I was pretty much here. So I'm like, well, if you're going to get laid off, it's a good thing to get laid off in Mexico. And I think also, too, because I had been here for like 9 months at that point, I was able to save like half of my paycheck religiously. And so I had like 6 months of savings already saved up. So by the time I got laid off, there wasn't like this frantic panic to go find another job. I could really just take my time and figure out what I wanted to do. And I started doing pop-ups off the roof of my house in my tiny kitchen, and those pop-ups a year later led to Black Sea Cocina.